Welcome to my channel, Old Valuable Chiller. Today we are going to talk in detail about the 1971 half-dollar coin from the United States, also known as the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar. This coin is one of the most important coins in modern US history, and it is a favorite among collectors, history lovers, and coin enthusiasts all over the world. The 1971 half-dollar is a coin that tells a story about America, about changes in coinage, and about the lasting memory of President John F. Kennedy. If you are interested in United States coins, numismatics, or the history of American money, this video will give you everything you need to know about the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar coin. The 1971 half-dollar coin features the portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse side, a design created by Gilroy Roberts, who was the chief engraver of the United States Mint. Kennedy's profile looks to the left, with the word Liberty above and the date 1971 below. The motto "In God We Trust" is also present, making this coin not only a piece of currency but also a piece of American symbolism. The reverse side of the coin was designed by Frank Gasparro, and it displays the presidential seal, with an eagle holding an olive branch in one claw and arrows in the other, representing both peace and strength. Around the design are the words United States of America and half-dollar. This bold and patriotic design gives the coin a powerful look that collectors still admire today. The 1971 half-dollar coin is particularly significant because it marked the first year that the Kennedy half-dollar was produced without any silver for regular circulation. From 1964 until 1970, the Kennedy half-dollar contained either 90% silver or 40% silver, but beginning in 1971, the mint switched to a copper-nickel clad composition, just like the quarters and dimes of the same era. This change was made because of the rising price of silver and the need to keep the cost of producing coins lower. As a result, the 1971 half-dollar coin became the very first clad half-dollar, making it a major turning point in U.S. coinage history. In terms of mintage, the 1971 half-dollar was produced in huge numbers. At the Philadelphia Mint, more than 155 million coins were struck, and at the Denver Mint, over 300 million were made. The San Francisco Mint also produced proof versions of the coin, which were specially made for collectors with higher quality and mirror-like surfaces. These proof coins are especially beautiful and highly sought after. With such a large mintage, the 1971 half-dollar is not considered rare in circulated condition, but uncirculated examples and proof issues remain popular among coin collectors who value quality and preservation. Condition is very important when it comes to the value and desirability of the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar coin. Circulated examples are common and easy to find, but collectors always look for coins that have strong details, clean surfaces, and full luster. In uncirculated condition, the coin shows the sharp features of Kennedy's portrait and the detailed eagle on the reverse. Proof coins, on the other hand, are known for their mirror finish and frosted details, making them beautiful display pieces. The better the condition, the more appealing the coin is to collectors, and this is true even for a common issue like the 1971 half-dollar. The 1971 half-dollar also represents a time when the half-dollar was declining in everyday circulation. While the denomination had once been popular, by the 1970s it was already becoming less commonly used in regular transactions. Still, many Americans kept Kennedy half-dollars as souvenirs, keepsakes, or collector's items. That tradition continues today, and the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar remains a coin that people often find in old collections, inherited rolls, or boxes of coins saved over the years. Collectors are always interested in special varieties and mint errors, and the 1971 half-dollar has a few worth mentioning. Some coins show doubling, die cracks, or planchet errors that make them different from standard issues. These error coins can attract attention and sometimes have higher value depending on their rarity and condition. Searching for such varieties is one of the joys of coin collecting, and the 1971 half-dollar gives collectors that same thrill of discovery. Beyond its errors and varieties, the historical importance of the 1971 half-dollar coin cannot be overstated. It is a coin that connects us with President Kennedy, with the changes in U.S. coinage, and with the era of the early 1970s. It tells the story of a nation adjusting its money to economic realities, while still holding on to the design that honored one of its most beloved presidents. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar is more than just a coin. It is a reflection of American history, culture, and pride. For new collectors, the 1971 half-dollar is a great starting point. Because of its wide mintage, it is affordable and easy to find, yet it still offers history and symbolism that make it exciting to own. Adding one to a collection allows you to explore the Kennedy half-dollar series, comparing the clad issues to the earlier silver versions and to later commemorative issues. Building a collection around the Kennedy half dollar is both educational and enjoyable, and the 1971 coin is a central part of that journey. So whether you have found a 1971 half dollar in your change, inherited one from a relative, or bought one from a coin shop, remember that you are holding a piece of history. Every 1971 Kennedy half dollar carries with it the story of America in the early 1970s, the transition to modern clad coinage, and the ongoing respect for President John F. Kennedy. That is why this coin continues to fascinate collectors and why it deserves a special place in U.S. numismatic history. First up today, we are going to talk in detail about the 1986 D half dollar coin from the United States. This coin is an important part of U.S. coinage history, and collectors, investors, and coin enthusiasts are always searching for information about the Kennedy half dollar series, especially the 1986 Denver Mint issue. If you are interested in United States coins, coin collecting, half dollar coins, or the history and value of American currency, then this video will give you everything you need to know about the 1986 D half dollar coin. The Kennedy half dollar series began in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination in 1963. The design features his portrait on the obverse side, created by Gilroy Roberts, while the reverse side shows the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparro. The 1986 half dollar continues that same design, but with changes in metal composition compared to the earlier silver issues. By 1986, the half dollar was being struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, with a copper core and outer layers of nickel. That is why the 1986 D half dollar has the familiar silver-colored appearance but is not actually made of silver. The D Mint mark on the 1986 half dollar shows that it was struck at the Denver Mint. In 1986, millions of half dollars were produced at Denver, and most of them were released for general circulation. The mintage numbers are quite high, which means that the majority of 1986 D half dollars are considered common in circulated grades. However, collectors still pay attention to factors like condition, mint luster, strike quality, and whether the coin has been preserved in uncirculated or proof-like condition. When we talk about the 1986 D half dollar value, it usually depends on the grade of the coin. In circulated condition, a 1986 D Kennedy half dollar generally holds face value of 50 cents. But in higher grades, especially those certified as mint state by grading services, the price can rise. For example, an MS65 or MS66 grade half dollar can bring a premium from collectors who want pristine examples of each date and mint mark in the Kennedy series. Even though it is not rare, collectors of Kennedy half dollars aim to complete sets, and that demand keeps the market active for coins like the 1986 D half dollar. Another thing that collectors look for in 1986 D half dollars are varieties and errors. Error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or other mint mistakes, can be worth much more than standard coins. A normal 1986 D half dollar in average circulation is very common, but a dramatic mint error could make it valuable to error coin specialists. That is why people carefully examine their coins, looking at details under magnification to see if they might have an unusual variety. The half dollar itself has an interesting history in American coinage. Before the Kennedy design, the U.S. Mint issued Franklin half dollars from 1948 to 1963, and before that, Walking Liberty half dollars from 1916 to 1947. Each of these designs has its own place in history, but the Kennedy half dollar has become the longest-running half dollar design in American history. The 1986 D half dollar is one of those coins that continues the tradition, linking modern collectors with over 2 decades of Kennedy coinage by that point. In terms of weight and size, the 1986 D half dollar weighs 11.34 grams and has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters. The coin has a reeded edge, which is standard for half dollars. Its composition, as mentioned earlier, is copper-nickel clad. This is important because many new collectors wonder whether the 1986 half dollar contains silver. The answer is no. Only special collector versions like silver proofs contain actual silver after 1970. And the circulation strike 1986 D half dollar is not one of those silver issues. Now let's talk a little more about condition and grading. Collectors often divide coins into circulated and uncirculated categories. Circulated coins are those that have been used in everyday transactions, and therefore, they show wear. Uncirculated coins are those that have never been used and still have original mint luster. Within uncirculated coins, grades can go from MS60 all the way up to MS70, with MS70 being a perfect coin with no visible flaws. For the 1986 D half dollar, finding one in MS67 or MS68 condition is quite difficult, which makes those high-grade examples more desirable and valuable. Coin collectors also talk about proof coins, which are specially made for collectors with mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. However, the Denver Mint did not strike proof coins in 1986. Proofs for that year came from the San Francisco Mint with an S Mint mark. That means if you have a 1986 D half dollar, it is a regular circulation strike coin, not a proof. As for popularity, Kenneedy half dollars are one of the most collected modern series in the United States. Many people collect them because of the connection to President Kennedy, while others simply like the large size and bold design of the half-dollar coin. The 1986 D Kenneedy half dollar is part of that larger story. Even though it is common, it still represents a piece of US history and is a coin that many collectors want to include in their sets. The 1986 D half dollar also makes a great teaching tool for new collectors. It helps them learn about mint marks, coin composition, circulation versus proof coins, grading, and coin values. For someone starting out in the hobby, finding a 1986 D Kenneedy half dollar in circulation can be exciting, and it often leads to a deeper interest in numismatics, which is the study and collecting of coins. In summary, the 1986 D half dollar coin from the United States is a Kenneedy half dollar minted in Denver, made of copper nickel clad, with a mintage in the millions, making it common but still collectible. Its value in circulated condition is around face value, but higher grade mint state examples can bring collector premiums. Error coins and special varieties can also be worth more. This coin is a continuation of the Kenneedy half dollar series, which began in 1964 and remains an important part of American coinage today. So if you have a 1986 D half dollar coin, you are holding a piece of US coin history. Whether it is in your pocket change, in a coin collection, or as part of an investment in collectible coins, it is worth learning about and preserving. Keep in mind the importance of condition, grading, and the broader story of the Kenneedy half dollar when thinking about the 1986 D half dollar coin. Now we will explore, and today we are going to talk in detail about the 1989 D half dollar coin from the United States. If you are a coin collector, a beginner interested in US coins, or simply curious about the history, value, and details of this specific Kenneedy half dollar, then this video will be a great resource for you. The 1989 D half dollar is a coin that holds significance in the Kenneedy half dollar series, and it was minted at the Denver Mint, which is represented by the D mint mark. In this video I will go over the background of the coin, its history, specifications, design, mintage, value, and collecting tips, so make sure to stay with me until the end to learn everything about this coin. The 1989 D half dollar belongs to the Kenneedy half dollar series, which began in 1964 after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was created as a tribute to honor the late president, and it quickly became a symbol of respect and remembrance. Since its introduction, the Kenneedy half dollar has been one of the most collected coins in American numismatics. Even though the coin is still in production, its role in circulation has diminished because people rarely use half dollars in everyday transactions. Most of them are saved by collectors, hobbyists, or distributed in special sets. The 1989 half dollar coin, including the one minted in Denver with the D mint mark, is made primarily of a copper nickel clad composition. The outer layer consists of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to an inner core of pure copper. This makes the coin durable and suitable for circulation. Its weight is 11.34 grams, it has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and it features a reeded edge. These specifications have been consistent for Kenneedy half dollars since 1971, when silver was no longer used in regular circulation strikes. On the obverse of the 1989 D half dollar, you will find the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. This profile shows Kennedy facing left, with the word Liberty arching around the top and "I in God We Trust" inscribed beneath his chin. The date 1989 appears below the bust, and the mint mark D is located just above the date, identifying it as a Denver Mint coin. The obverse design is a lasting tribute to Kennedy's legacy and has remained largely unchanged throughout the years. The reverse of the 1989 D half dollar features the presidential coat of arms, which includes a heraldic eagle with a shield on its chest, holding an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other. The eagle is encircled by 50 stars, representing the states of the Union, and the inscriptions United States of America and half dollar are prominently displayed. This design was created by Frank Gasparro and has become a familiar symbol associated with the Kenneedy half dollar. Now let's talk about the mintage of the 1989 D half dollar. At the Denver Mint, a large number of these coins were produced, with over 23 million minted that year. Because of this high mintage, the 1989D half dollar is not considered a rare coin in general circulation. Most examples that you find will have been used in commerce, meaning they will show signs of wear, but uncirculated examples are also available and can be easily obtained by collectors. When it comes to value, the 1989D half dollar is generally worth its face value of 50 cents if it is heavily circulated. However, coins in higher grades or in mint state condition can be worth more to collectors. Uncirculated examples might range from $1 to a few dollars depending on the condition, luster, and overall eye appeal. Coins graded at higher mint state levels, such as MS65 or MS66, can be worth more because collectors are always seeking top-quality examples. While it is not a rare date in the Kenneedy series, high-grade coins with strong strikes can still command a premium. Another factor that affects the value of the 1989D half dollar is errors and varieties. Some collectors specifically look for error coins, such as those with doubled dies, off-center strikes, or other unusual features. While major errors from 1989 are not common, it is always worth examining your coins closely, especially under magnification, to check for anything unusual that might add collector value. If you are collecting Kenneedy half dollars, the 1989D half dollar is an essential piece to include in your collection. Many collectors enjoy building complete sets of Kenneedy half dollars by date and mint mark, and the 1989D is one of the more affordable issues. For those who want pristine examples, searching for coins in original mint sets or proof sets from 1989 is an excellent way to find coins in top condition. Even though this coin is not rare, it still represents an important era in the Kenneedy series and reflects the continuation of the design more than 25 years after it was first introduced. For coin roll hunters, finding a 1989D half dollar in circulation can be fun, though most examples today show wear from use. Still, it's exciting to discover them while searching through half-dollar rolls. Collectors often look at coins not only for their rarity but also for the story they tell. The 1989D half dollar represents a piece of American history and numismatics. Every coin has passed through many hands and has its own journey, whether it was used in commerce, saved by a collector, or stored in a mint set. Holding a 1989D half dollar connects you with the legacy of President Kennedy and with decades of American coinage tradition. To recap, the 1989D half dollar coin from the United States was minted at the Denver Mint, carries the portrait of John F. Kennedy on the obverse, and features the presidential seal on the reverse. It is a copper-nickel clad coin, weighs 11.34 grams, measures 30.6 millimeters, and has a reeded edge. With over 23 million minted, it is not a rare coin, but uncirculated or high-grade examples do hold some collector value. Collectors also check for error coins and varieties that can be more valuable. If you are new to coin collecting, the 1989D half dollar is an accessible coin to begin with, and if you are an experienced collector, it is an important part of the Kenneedy half dollar series. This coin tells a story of history, remembrance, and the artistry of American coinage. Whether you collect by date, by type, or simply for enjoyment, the 1989D half dollar deserves a place in your collection.